Today what we're working on is the 1986 Chevrolet Corvette. What we're working on is the EGR system. We continue to have a EGR light that comes on at startup, and we're trying to figure out what's going on with it. So as long as you have all your EGR valve vacuum lines hooked up properly, and the routing is over there on the fan shroud right there, that's the routing for the vacuum lines. So as long as those are all hooked up correctly under your intake and under your plenum and going to all your various sensors and solenoids and whatnot, and as long as your EGR valve is good and everything is plugged, there's a EGR solenoid that's on the other side of this, which goes to the bottom of the plenum, and then one comes out here and goes this way to the back of the plenum. But anyway, those all have to be hooked up properly, and they can't have any leaks. They can't have any broken little plastic lines going to the vacuum. So if you have all those hooked up and everything is copacetic with the EGR system like it's supposed to be, and you still have an EGR code popping up, and you're like, what is this coming from? Why does this continue to come on? Okay, here's where we go next after that. See that little EGR tube? It's called the EGR temperature sensor. That's what that is right there. I don't know if you can see it. This is it right here. Okay, there's that, and it goes into a line. Actually, it goes into a connector that goes back behind the distributor. Okay, it's really a pain in the butt to get to from here, because if you have to replace the connector and the wire, or if you have to place the connector as well as the sensor, then what goes on is you have to take the back of the plenum off, which is this fin right here. You have to take the distributor cap up and off, and then you can finagle your fingers behind there to be able to connect it or disconnect the wire that comes with this EGR temperature sensor. Or you can do like me and be creative and put a quick release. You've got a male on one end, male connector, and a female connector on the other end of this line, and then have it wrapped electrical tape. So that's a quick release to make sure, and I'll let you know when I get a little closer to that. I'll show you what it looks like once it's off. This sensor has to be replaced. We're going to go ahead and replace this sensor, but we're going to keep this connector wire that's already in place right now. I'm going to go ahead and remove the black tape off of the connectors and show you how those go, and then I'll remove the switch. Okay, what you got to remember is we're right behind the plug wires. Right here. We're right behind that. That's where the EGR tube goes, and then that little switch is right there. So we're going to go ahead and remove that switch now. Take the wire off first. The switch itself is a half inch wrench. This is the old switch. This is what we're replacing right now. Okay, since we got the new one here, there's like a seal where this part unscrews like we did from the old switch, there's some kind of a seal going on with that part that screws in and the white part. So we're going to go ahead and cut this somewhere around here and put a female end on this and go ahead and install it just like we had the other one installed. So that's where we're at right now. Let me go put a butt connector on this. I'm going to cut this and put a butt connector on it. We'll be back and ready to install it. Okay, we have our part all modified and ready to install. This is the part we're installing. See how it's got that nice seal on the top of it that you don't want to break. So our original plan of unscrewing this one and putting in the old one is out the door. So we went ahead and came up with this new plan to install a female butt connector. And we're going to go ahead and install this whole part right now into the EGR tube. I actually had to take a tap and die set and resize this piece that goes into the EGR tube. So we're going to go ahead and install it now. Okay, we got her installed. That's what it is, right there. We're going to go ahead and fire it up and see if we get a check engine light. No service soon engine light. Praise God for that.